I think this conference is refreshingly honest, and the panels have been populated with some really impressive people, and it feels like the room is really hitting some difficult topics very head on, which I appreciate because I've been in many, many rooms in my life where I think nobody's really saying anything, and everybody's sort of, or they're repeating kind of all the headlines you've heard before, and they're just sort of regurgitating what is like the safest, most kind of obvious thing to say. And I think what's been really productive about this is I think, you're hearing a difference of opinion, and you're hearing some challenges that are happening on the panels about what is the right course and what's the state of things. And I, for one, really appreciate it because it gives you a lot to think about.
Hello, my name is Melanie Goodfellow. I am the Senior International Film Correspondent for Deadline. It gives me great pleasure to be here in the Deadline studio with Megan Colligan, who's the president of Roquet, and Daniel Steinman, who is the COO and co-founder of 30 West. So I've just been watching you. We're here in the Zurich Summit, which is an annual meeting where execs from Hollywood come over, and you meet with executives from Europe, and today we've had some from the Middle East as well to discuss crossover and different trends. And you've just been on a panel about releasing indie films. So it's very exciting to have you here, Megan, because I think, is this the first time you've been at Zurich?
It's my first time.
Because you've just before TIFF became the president of Roquet, which is this new company. Can you just tell us a little bit about the company and what it's trying to achieve? Because I'm kind of amazed that people are still opening up distributors right now and trying to, taking on that challenge.
Yeah, well, Roquet is an independent, US-based independent company releasing movies in North America. We are focused on kind of approaching marketing and distribution in a digital environment, so really focusing at audiences under 40. And we bought our first 4 films out of Toronto, so we're well on our way to getting started. So it's been a very quick start, but we've gotten aggressively in the marketplace. We saw a lot of movies we liked, and we jumped after them.
So you got Cliffhanger, which was one of the big deals of Toronto.
Yeah.
And then
Poetic License, which is Maud Apatow's directorial debut. And then Charlie Harper, which was stars Amelia Jones and Nick Robertson, and is also a directorial debut. And Gus Van Sant,
of course.
Dead Man's Wire, which is first up, coming out at the end of this year.
So Daniel, what do you, when you see like a new distributor opening up like this, what does this give you hope for the industry, or does it? How do you perceive this?
It gives me great gladness. It does give me hope, but I've always had hope. I don't lack for hope. But as somebody involved in the financing of movies, as opposed to directly the distribution of movies, of course, broadly speaking, any new distributor is a cause for happiness, celebration. But and I'm not saying this just because I'm sitting next to her. When that new distributor is headed by Megan Colligan, and she's bringing creativity to approaching markets in a very fast evolved and faster evolving age, it's exciting. It's really exciting.
So when you're putting your films together, are you still very much taking like theatrical box office into account? Is it still there as part of the financing, as part of what you want to achieve with your films, or have you are you happy to look at streamers? Would you have to do a combination?
I mean, it's a great question, and I'll just step back because I think that there's often sort of a little mystery around what the various players in the independent marketplace do, because the independent marketplace doesn't function the way the studio marketplace does, just as a very broad statement, because the financing of movies generally is done by entities other than the financing of the distribution of those movies. So 30 West has a sort of dual track mandate. We finance movies directly, and then we also invest in companies. Our primary corporate investments are Neon and Altitude, but when I think about our movie financing business, that's apart from Neon and Altitude. And so really what we're thinking about on a financial basis when we decide whether to greenlight a movie as financiers is whether we'll be able to sell that movie to a worldwide distributor or a suite of territorial distributors, with the U.S. being quite important, obviously, in a way that justifies the budget. That can have to do with box office. If the movie seems more appropriate for streaming or to have a real shot at being a streaming release, then we're not thinking as crucially about box office, but we're always thinking about box office, though we don't take the box office risk directly. That's for Megan to do.
So what have you got coming up that's going to be released in the next few months, the coming year?
We don't have anything in the next few months, but John Carney's movie, Power Ballad, is in post-production. That's with Lionsgate, and that's sold out of Cannes last year. So that's really the one of the big ones that we're looking forward to. And Day Drinker is a movie that we set up with Lionsgate. Those are the two.
I know Andreas was pushing you on the panel about that. Do you have any news when that's going to come out?
I really don't. And you know what? But for the time difference between Zurich and LA, I might have gotten an update between then and now, but unfortunately, I don't have one.
You've been here a few times. I actually picking up on the AI. That was kind of interesting, the whole creation of that. But I mean, you keep coming back. So why do you keep coming back?
I do keep coming back, and I was thinking about that. I've been here more than a few times, actually, at this point. I think like a lot of people who come here, and maybe this will be you by the end of tomorrow night, maybe it's already you, it's really one of my favorite places to talk about film and listen to people talking about film and more broadly the media industry. The environment is, it sounds like I'm doing an advertisement for your festival, but the environment is as magical as an environment on this earth can be, so there's that. It's far enough away from New York, let alone LA, that I think people feel that they can, maybe be a little bit more open with one another, to Megan's point. And I think you also have us here for a nice amount of time, so that by the time this day comes along, and certainly by the time tomorrow night comes along, we've all gotten to know each other somewhat. It's not too big. So I think it's a combination of all those things.
Well, look, thank you so much for coming in, and enjoy the rest of your stay in Zurich.
Thank you.
Thank you.